Hey guys, I'm back. So I just got done doing the bracelet. You saw that. I sat here for a little bit and started playing with my design, and I'll explain this one seed bead for the moment. So I started playing with it and I realized these pearls, even though they do pull out the gray in this, was just causing me heartburn. And so I'm going to go with this design. And so that is going to be a blue pink bead. And then we need some of those bigger bead caps, the purple, and so I may add this to the end of the video you just watched. I don't know. And then I decided I'm going to go with these. I'm going to call these flying saucer beads. I don't know why. They remind me of little UFOs. And so we're just going to continue on. And so I bought a bunch of these, but it was a mixed bag. And so it ended up getting in here. There's all sorts of different bead caps in there. So I've got, and I'm going to move you over. I've got a ton of these bead caps, but they're not all the same. So I've just got to be careful pulling them out. And I really like these colors together. I really do. I think this is going to make this necklace fabulous. Hopefully I have enough beads to do the necklace. So yeah, so that's what it's going to look like. I really like that. I think that's going to make this just very vibrant, but also very nice. So I ended up, instead of using the longer pinch bail, I used the shorter one with rhinestones. I think that also adds a little bit of excitement to it. So I'm just pulling out some more purples here. And it looks like I'm going to need some, nope, I got a couple more, good. So yeah, so in my last video, we were talking about my reorganization. So, and I haven't decided exactly when I'm going to do it. I am probably going to rip everything out of my craft room. All shelves, all counters, all everything. And then probably go with putting everything back. And going through it as I put it back. I've got a bunch of beads that like I said, I probably don't need. I've got a bunch of, beading wire. I've got a bunch of beads that I'll never get the chance to use. And so I'm thinking I might put up on my Etsy page a bead grab bag and just sell a bunch of stuff that I will probably never use. So, if you think that would be a good idea and you'd be interested in buying, I don't know, a box or a bag of beads, let me know in the comments, because I might just go ahead and do that and just do a grab bag of beads and just sell off some of the extras that I have. The stuff that I'm not going to get a chance to use. When you have 9 of something, you're never going to use all of the, I might, 10 years from now, I might finally get around to using it all, but again, I don't need to have it lying around for that length of time. I'd rather have the space back for new beads or for... And I'm just digging out, I'm trying to dig out some of these bead caps that I know are the ones that I need. So yeah, so I might do that. So let me know if you're interested. You know, so maybe some pearls. I definitely have a ton of pearls. I've got a bunch of bead mixes. You know, I call it my bead soup, where I've got a bunch of stuff that that I've bought, used a few out of them, and then just didn't feel like putting it back to the mix back together or separating it, so I just tossed it in my what I call the bead soup. And I have 2 shoe boxes full. I have a shoebox full of the glass cabochons that I will probably never use all of those. So I may sell components on my Etsy shop, or put together kits for people. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and we are at 4 there. And that is looking quite nice. I really like that. We've got a ways to go, so I'm thinking we need to do at least, thank God for bead stoppers, at least 2 more on each side. So there's 2 for that side, 2 for that side. Let's say 3 and 3 just in case. And I've got 1, 2, 3 of those left. So I will have used up all the purple. I'm going to save 2 out because I do want 2 purple for my butterfly earrings. And I still have these pink to use, but I'm probably going to use those on the butterflies as well. So we need another flying saucer. And so I'm just digging out some more beads for and there's 1. We'll do a second one on this side. And I'm going to need more of these bead caps. I'm going to have to dig them out. And there's that side. And this is looking really nice. I am really liking this. So I'm just trying to pick out some of these bead caps that are the ones that I know I'm going to be using. I can always dump them back in when I'm done. And I like using bead caps a lot of times because I think they accent the beads quite nicely without adding a lot of bulk to the design. So, you know, sometimes the spacer beads, you know, detract from the beads. And at least this way I have my pattern and just a little bit of an accent to make it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to do 2 more on this side, and then see, we may end up needing to put on some additional fillers. Or again, we could always do a chain, extender chain, so that you don't have a lot of bulk on the back of the neck. And so what I just did there is I just tossed one of those aside. So every now and then when they make these, you'll have a burr. And I don't know if I can hold that up that you can see that. It's got a burr on it, and that burr's going to cause problems. And I don't know if cutting it off, like if I tried to cut this off with wire cutters, it's just going to look, it's going to be very rough. And then I'm going to need to file it down. So I always just take those out and toss them aside for the moment. I will fix those later, but again, spacer beads, if I have to lose 1 or 2 because of burrs, I'm not too worried about it. I do the same thing with my bead caps, because sometimes when they punch the holes in the metal, it doesn't quite go all the way through, and then I'll just take those and just toss them aside. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if I did 1 more on each side, I think we would have enough. 6, 1, 2, 3. Yep, so if we did 1 more on each side, I think we would have enough to go around the neck. And I think that would be perfect. Ooh. Slippery little suckers. All right, so there is that side, and I'm going to go do the other side now. Ooh, and I just sprung that all the way across the room. Be careful. Those things will get you. All right. And I think that's going to be perfect. That is perfect with the, I love that. I think this one's mine. That's just, I've decided this one's mine. Not selling it, nobody's getting it, it's mine. All right, so I'm gonna grab some crimp beads, some regular crimp beads. And I am going to grab a wire guardian. So there's my crimp beads. And I need a silver wire guardian here. We're going to grab a couple of those. And we are going to put on a crimp bead. Put on a wire guardian. And the first side's always so easy, just because you don't have to worry about tightening or doing anything. And so I am going to squeeze my wire guardian just to give it a better and give my crimp bead a nice crimp. And I will be putting a crimp cover on that. Maybe I want a crimp cover? Maybe. I'll do it at the end. We'll see. Because again, it's nobody's going to see the back of it. Just giving a little tug, making sure it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to go through a couple of these beads before I cut off my tail. And I think that's good. I'm going to cut off the tail. And then we are going to slide. So now I know I didn't explain to you originally. I put on this white seed bead. It's a 6/0 seed bead. It's just something for the bail to kind of sit on, because the bail was hanging quite low on the necklace and it didn't look like it belonged there. So by adding that 6/0 bead, it's raised the bail up just a little bit to kind of make the wire feel a little beefier where the bail is, so that the bail isn't just kind of floating on the wire. I also think it makes it feel like it's supposed to be there, because you have a space now where the two beads aren't going to be slamming up against your bail. So anyways, that's why I did that little trick to kind of fill in. It's also a trick that I use when I have beads with really large holes that I want to use on wire like this, and you end up, you can see how like how small the bead just doesn't sit well. So what you can do is find smaller beads that will fit inside of that hole and just kind of fill in with those beads. You know, you don't have to, but it's just something if you want it to sit a little nicer, that I do. You don't have to, but it's, you know, I think it makes your piece look a little more finished when it comes down to it. All right, so we are going to, I'm trying to get this to pull. It just does not want to pull. And maybe if we do this, there we go. It doesn't want to be super tight, but you also don't want it so loose that you're going to be having big spaces like that. So again, I'm just trying to get it to tighten up a little bit. And then once you've got it as tight as you think you need it, go ahead and give your crimp bead a squeeze. And there is going to be a little space that's, you know, not unusual. But and just shaking it around, it'll even out that looseness. But that is perfect. That's a perfect fit. And now we're going to add our necklace bindings. And so I am going to grab, hopefully, another. Do I have any more? Because I think they're all out. So this was a kit that I had bought with lobster claws. Looks like I need more lobster claws. I do have these, but... Oh, there's one in there. Huh? There we go. There's a lobster claw. Do I have, and I do have another extender chain. All right, so I don't need to use those. And see, this is what I mean. Like, I have a gazillion of some things, and then other things that I think I have a ton of, like lobster claws in silver, I barely have any left. So I will need to order some more lobster claws. And this is why I say I'm needing to clean up my craft room. All right, so we have, and I'm going to have to fix that chain at the end. I'll show you in a second what I'm talking about. All right, so anyways, there is a broken chain there, broken piece of chain. I just wanted to take that one off. All right, so there we go. So that is necklace number 1, design number 2 from the Over the Rainbow. That is if I can get this to, come on. There we go. Open up and clasp. And I think that looks amazing. Let's take a look at it on the mannequin. I know the black kind of makes the purple look dark, although I think that looks fabulous on a black top. I think that would look fabulous. It would make the lighter colors pop. But yeah, so that's what it looks like on that. And I hope you enjoyed this design. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.